I'm going to use this scene of James Bond from Skyfall to show you step by step exactly how to use body language and psychology to make a woman wildly attracted to you and chase you. I'm also going to point out some common mistakes that can destroy all the attraction you've built, even if you've done everything else right. Let's get into the video, fellas.
Cutthroat razor. How very traditional.
Well, I like to do some things the old-fashioned way.
Fellas, the first thing I want to point out is notice how James delays his response. I'll just rewind the clip, then I'll explain why this is so powerful.
Well, I like to do something.
Notice, fellas, he takes like a second to pause and then he responds. Now, this is what we call non-reactiveness. Now, non-reactiveness, fellas, is so attractive because it signals a trait called emotional mastery. And emotional mastery, fellas, is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. This is what we call a universal attractor, meaning it is attractive to all women. All women crave a man with emotional mastery. And a way you can display that is through your non-reactivity.
The old-fashioned way.
The next thing I want to point out, fellas, is his vocal tonality. Now, the way James speaks here, right, in a monotone tonality, right, quite quiet, flat, non-emotional. Again, this is the vocal tonality women biologically crave to be spoken to. Calm, controlled, non-emotional, and monotone. This is how you make a woman literally go crazy. And I've got so many more tactics for that in a second, but let's get on.
Sometimes the old ways are the best.
So, fellas, what's happened here is something we call proximity closing. Now, this is extremely important. If I just rewind the clip and show you what's happened.
Well, I like to do some things the old-fashioned way.
So, if I go back a little bit more, look, so Moneypenny initially starts here. And the key thing is
Sometimes the old
she closes the distance, right? She engages in proximity closing. Now, what is proximity closing? Proximity closing, fellas, is just a fancy scientific word for closing the distance between two people. Now, why is it so important you understand this? Because if you get this wrong, you can end up in prison. But if you get it right, you can read a woman like a book and you can get her in the exact state you need to seduce her, to make that process effortless. Now, effectively, fellas, we're going to go way more in depth on proximity closing, on spatial regulation, on distance, on touching, on physical contact, on escalation, on all of that bullshit later in the video. But what you need to understand is, fellas, is that what's happened here is Moneypenny has given James Bond the green light by moving towards her, right? Fellas, in my experience, women will make subtle moves like this when they're into you. And you're like, Force, that's so obvious, I know this, right? They'll come close to you. They'll touch it. They'll touch you. They'll brush your hair. All this bullshit. The key thing is, fellas, this is so important. And this will go against everything you've heard in the pickup artist industry, in the dating industry, in the game guru industry. In all of these other guys will say something different to what I'm about to say. As a general rule, you want to maintain your space and let her make the first move. Why is this important? Again, what you will have heard from the game gurus, the dating coaches, the pickup artists, they'll say, no, you need to escalate. No, you're the man. You need to move closer to her. You need to be the dominant one. Bullshit. That's a very fast way to end up in prison, or a very fast way, more likely, you're not going to end up in prison, but more likely to make her feel creeped out by you and for her to make an excuse to leave and for her to lose interest in you. So what you actually want to do is, fellas, and I'm going to get into this more later, but you want to limit the distance. You do not want to move towards her. You want to let her move towards you. And the key thing is, fellas, when you use my tactics I'm going to give you in this video, when you use my tactics that are on my other videos, she will move towards you. She will start to touch you. She will start to escalate. And then once she's done that, then you can build up the sexual tension. Then you can make your move, but only after she has. And I'm going to explain this point later. Fellas, before we move on, I just want to give you a quick bonus point. But When you don't move towards her, when you don't show these beta male signals like 99% of men do where they're touching her, they're fidgeting, they're moving towards her, they're trying to escalate, they're trying to build sexual tension. What you do, fellas, when you don't do that, you create uncertainty. Right? She doesn't know if you like her or not. And fellas, remember this. Uncertainty is a woman's kryptonite. Uncertainty, fellas, her not knowing where she stands, mystery is what makes her biologically become obsessed with you. I'm going to get into this later.
Ways are the best. Are you putting your life in my hands again?
Fellas, there are three things in this scene that James has just done that are magically powerful. When you combine these three things I'm about to show you, fellas, this is what creates attraction, right? This is what, in fact, let me just tell you them, and then I'll tell you an experience I had literally last week with a 10 out of 10 for why this shit is so powerful. So let me rewind the clip and I'll point them out as I see them.
Sometimes the old ways are the best.
So again, fellas, the first thing I want to point out was the delayed reaction. He held strong eye contact with her, albeit through the mirror, for 3 seconds and did nothing. So that's the first point, a delayed reaction. The second point, fellas, is slow, smooth, and deliberate movement. If I just rewind, I'll show you again quickly. Just watch how James turns around. Slow, smooth, and deliberate. Moving in this way, right? Slow, smooth, and deliberate literally makes a woman go crazy. This is, I can't put this into words. When you move in this way, you just appear sexy. You just appear seductive. And then the third point is silence. James says nothing. So when you combine these 3 points, right? Delayed reaction, slow, smooth, deliberate movement, silence. When you combine these points together, fellas, this literally creates, like, I can't put it into words. This is what women crave. And I can tell you this because, first of all, this is what the science says. Second of all, this is what the research says. Third of all, I've been doing this stuff for years and I've personally observed it. But fourth of all, last week I was dating this objective, no discussion 10 out of 10. Right? And I'm not gonna tell you the exact words she said because I'd get banned on YouTube. But she said words to the effect of, when I did these things, like when I delayed reaction, slow, smooth, deliberate movement, and silence, when I used these tactics, she literally said, like, I just want to sleep with you, like, right now. You're just making me so aroused. For lack of, obviously she didn't say those exact words, but she said words that mean the exact same thing as that. Just because I've used these 3 tactics, they work so well, fellas. Please fucking use them. All right, just use them. Just shut the fuck up. Just use them and you'll see what I mean.
Are you putting your life in my hands again?
Fellas, I'm going to give you another bonus point if we just go back. This is what I call the 80-20 rule. Okay? The 80-20 rule for verbal communication. Now, what the fuck does that mean? 80-20 rule for verbal communication. Basically, fellas, of all the years I've been doing this, of all the people I've taught, of all the people who have paid me all this money, of all the studies I've read, of all the studies I've consumed and studied and analysed, there is one common theme. To maximize attractiveness, you want to use this rule. 80% of the time, when you are speaking, she should be speaking, at least. And then you should be speaking less than 20% of the time. That is what I call the golden rule for verbal communication. She should be speaking 80% of the time. You should be speaking 20% of the time. Why? Well, there are a variety. I could literally give you 115 reasons why this matters. But one big reason, fellas, is speaking is inherently feminine. Whereas silence, asking questions, letting other people speak, is masculine. Beautiful women are always feminine. They are always attracted to masculine men. The difference between femininity and masculinity is what creates the biological attraction. Right, fellas, I could talk about that all day, but I'm gonna go to the next point.
My hands again.
Fellas, on a separate note, if you want the advanced body language tactics, if you want to learn the exact vocal tonality, the exact words to say that are literally scientifically proven to make you irresistible to women and respected by other men, even if you're not tall, dark, rich, handsome, whatever, click the link in the description and watch the video on the page, because that video on the page, fellas, is going to give you a brief walkthrough of my scientifically proven dating and attraction system and how it works step by step. So if you want to watch that, click the link, watch the video. If you don't, I don't care. I'm already rich. Right, second point. Now we're going to talk about spatial regulation and closing the distance. So what is spatial regulation, fellas? Well, it's just a fancy word for basically how close you are to one another. Right, it links with what I said earlier when we covered this point. If I just go back. Where is it? Yeah. So where she's closed the distance, this is what we call closing proximity, or proximity closing, sorry. If we go forward to where I was. Right, let's talk about this. So spatial regulation, fellas, in seduction, in dating, in any field like this, always, the closer she moves to you, the more comfortable she is with you. Now, fellas, comfort is I've never talked about this on the channel before, but comfort is a required part of dating, is a required part of attraction. She must feel physically safe. She must feel physically comfortable. If you want to sleep with her, if you want to date her, if you want a relationship with her, she must feel comfortable with you. Now, fellas, the reason why women lose interest in you, the reason why you speak to them and you think it's going so well, and then boom, they're like, oh, sorry, I need to go. My dog died. My dog's got a stomachache. What? The reason they make bullshit excuses. Oh, my dog has AIDS or some bullshit like that. Why they leave? Whatever. My girlfriend has a date or some bullshit, right? They make up the stupidest, most dumbest excuse ever, and they leave, right? And you never hear from them again. Why? A very common reason, fellas, is that you have not made her comfortable and then you've tried to make a move on her. You must first get comfort. And the single biggest signal of her being comfortable with you is her moving into your personal space. Another massive signal, fellas, is physical contact from her to you. Now, again, fellas, this goes against literally everything all the dating gurus, everything all the game gurus, everything all the pickup artists say. This goes against all of that. They say you need to touch her, you need to move closer to her, you need to physically escalate. Bullshit. If you do that, you will get a fucking sexual assault charge and you will get fucking thrown in prison, or she'll just think you're a fucking creep and leave. This is why women lose interest in you. You have to make them comfortable. That's why I say, as a rule, fellas, I will never, ever touch a woman first, ever. I will wait for her to move close to me and start to make physical contact with me. Then I will reciprocate. This is how you build sexual tension. And like, fellas, we're going to get more into this in a minute. We've got some other points to cover first.
Raising the tantalizing question of what you're really doing here.
The official directive was to help in any way I can.
Like spying for Mallory.
All right, fellas, there's a few things I want to point out here, but the first thing I want to point out is what I call seductive vocal tonality. Now, this is key. This is something you really need to understand. When I'm on a date with 9s, 8s, 10s, whatever. For example, when I was dating that 10 out of 10 objective, hands down, case closed, 10 out of 10 the other day, do you think I was speaking how I'm speaking to you now? No. I was speaking how James is here, and I'm going to explain this. So let's first listen to how James is speaking, and then I'll tell you why it works.
The directive was to help.
Go back a little bit more.
Raising the tantalizing question of what you're really doing here.
So, fellas, we spoke about this a second earlier, Whereas in the most attractive vocal tonality is going to be a steady, unemotional, monotone, which basically just means flat, which means no emotion in the voice. Tone. That's all it's going to be. That's how you speak in a seductive way, right? Steady, unemotional, and monotone. They're really the three key components, fellas, of this. It's not complicated. Obviously, there's some advanced tactics, like you can change your intonation. You can either be flat or down. Basically, fellas, if you have a steady, unemotional, monotone voice, you'll be fine. But the most important tip to have the seductive vocal tonality, fellas, is all of those three things I just told you, but then you have to combine it with this tip. You have to believe you are speaking in a seductive way. You have to think, like you have to, when you're speaking to her, you have to think, I'm speaking in a seductive way. You have to think that. And when you think that, you're simply going to speak in a more attractive and more sexy and more seductive and more charming and more seducing vocal tonality. If we listen to James again here, I'll give you another example.
My official directive was to help in any way I can.
Like spying for Mallory.
And again, just perfect. Obviously, maybe not like that, but the way he first spoke, unbelievable. Now, let me actually, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to talk to you about some tactics for dealing with a woman when she tests you, or more of the sort of hand-to-hand combat, more of the like the words, because women are going to test you all the time, so you need to know how to deal with that MF. So let's go back and let me show you this. This is a real, I love this.
Directive was to help in any way I can.
Like spying for Mallory.
So that's key, what he just said, like spying for Mallory. If I just go back, obviously you can see a slight smirk, which is really, this is perfect. So Moneypenny here, he's just asked her a question and she's given a response that he knows is bullshit. How do most men react? They just accept it. They just roll over and take it. How should you react? You should always challenge it. Women want a man who's going to stand up to them. Why? Because if you don't stand up to her, you won't stand up when shit hits the fan for her. She is testing your character as a man. Also, fellas, take this as I mean it. Take this as I mean it. Women love to be told what to do. Caveat by an attractive, high status, seductive, charming man like me. Maybe like you if you watch these videos. I'm trying to think of an example to give you. I'm trying to think how to word this. So I'll give you another. Well, I can't really give you an example, but like with that 10 I was seeing a few days ago, right? She loved that I told her what to do. She literally said it to me. She's like, I love when you tell me what to do. Only you can tell me what to do. She was like saying some bullshit about, I'm not even going to try to do a voice, but she was like, oh, no one tells me what to do. Like I do my own thing. I'm independent. I was like, sure you are, mate. But when I say something, you listen. When I tell you to do something, you do it. And she's like, yeah, only for you. And she meant it. When I tell her to do something, she fucking does it. Get rid of that. But yeah, fellas. So you want to call women out on their bullshit. It's a must-have trait. She is testing you. If James had just accepted this, she would have lost attraction. You have to bounce. You have to go. Women want you to do this. That's why they're testing you. They want you. They want to see if this guy's a 99% bullshit, low status, low ranking male who's just using tactics, who's just trying to impress her, faking it, or they want to see if you're a man who's actually about that life. And the fast way you can do that is by doing what we call checking her, by challenging her on her bullshit. And you're probably thinking, oh, Force, that would be so awkward if you did that. Oh my God, you can't do that, Force. Just shut the fuck up, check a woman and see the reaction you get from her. Okay?
Like spying for Mallory.
Fellas, I'll give you a really important tactic. So obviously this is a test from Moneypenny here. We know this, great. But how James deals with it, right? Obviously, you have to check her, but you can never show anger. You can never show emotion. You can never show anything like that. You have to do it. You have to show what she's testing for, fellas. And I'm going to get into this later in this fucking video. I don't know how this video has fucking run so long. Like a 1 minute clip and turn it into like a fucking 45-minute video, but we're rolling. Anyway, basically, fellas, I'm going to get into this later, but she's testing you. She wants to try and throw you off your rock. Fellas, the role of a man is to be the rock that other people lean on, is to be the rock that other people come to when shit hits the fan, when shit is tough. That's your job. She is testing to see if you are that rock. She's testing to try and throw you off your stall, to try and disturb you, to try and get you to react emotionally. Because if she can get you to react emotionally by saying some words or making fun of you, when shit hits the fan, when shit is bad, she knows you're not going to be there. And that's why you get instantly disqualified when you fail her tests. So she's just testing you. She's trying to make you react emotionally. I'm going to just show you one more time how James reacts to this.
Like spying for Mallory.
Right? It's just brilliant. There's no emotion on his face, and then if you go frame by frame, hold on, you can see a slight smirk forming on his. See, you can see a slight smirk forming on his face. This is exactly how you want to do it. This is exactly how I do it. When I'm responding to a test, when I'm dealing with a test, completely unemotional, and a little smirk or a little arrogant display. Maybe I'm raising my chin a bit to expose my throat, which shows arrogance, contempt. I'm leaning back in my chair. Right, I'm putting my hands behind my head and put my feet up on the table if it's appropriate, obviously. I'm not giving her eye contact. I'm smirking. I'm showing that, my love, I deeply care about you, but you will not throw me off my pedestal. I've dealt with bigger, scarier shit. I'm on a fucking mission. And women love that. That's what they're looking for.
You know, Mallory's not as bad as you think.
He's a bureaucrat.
You should do your homework. Gareth Mallory was a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel in Northern Ireland Hereford Regiment. Spent 3 months at the hands of the IRA.
So, there's more to him than meets the eye.
We'll see.
Keep still. This is the tricky part.
Okay, fellas, this is important. If this does happen, which it sometimes will, it sometimes even happens to force ops. Newsflash. Stop immediately. Stop. That's the first step. Fucking stop. If a woman ever says no, you motherfuckers better stop. That's step 0. Stop. Okay, now we've got step 0 out of the way. This is another reason why I never, ever touch women first. Ever. Right? And like I said earlier, like this is contrary to all the game gurus, contrary to all the dating coaches. You have to escalate, bro. You have to build the sexual tension. Well, fellas, if you touch a woman without her having touching you first, you're going to escalate to 2 things. First, you're going to escalate to you having to masturbate because she's lost fucking interest. And second, you're going to escalate to a fucking 12-person jury trial for sexual assault. In this case, so that's that out of the way. What she did here, fellas, this would never ever happen in real life. Like, obviously, there's loads of body language that I haven't pointed out, but obviously, look at them here, right? I presume she's closed the distance earlier. She's got this close. She's all over him. In real life, they'd obviously be sleeping together now. That what she did wouldn't happen. We'll just go back. Oops. Right. That wouldn't happen. Right. It'd be game on at this point, especially if you don't know the body language that James has. But if this does happen, which it sometimes will, you have to understand it is a test. She is testing your emotional control and your reaction to rejection. That's all she's testing. It is a test. Right? She's testing to see if you have the traits of a high status man or if you're pretending. You You have to pass the test. How do you deal with it? Right? Let me tell you how not to deal with it. Well, little boys, little children, men who are using game tactics, men who are using pickup artist tactics, men who are trying to, whatever, do the bullshit, right? They will get upset. They will be thrown off their center. They won't deal with it well. And boom, she's lost interest. See you later, mate. So this is why I said at the start of the video, if you get this stuff wrong, fellas, you can lose all of the work you've done. And on a separate note, I'm not going to go too in detail on this because it's not like the old channel 3 years ago where I used to spend like an hour and a half fucking ranting about getting on your mission, getting on your purpose, getting on your vision, having a massive goal. Not going to go to that, but fellas, men on a mission, men who are high status, men who are genuinely confident and have a big goal they're pursuing, if she rejects them, they just fucking laugh like they give a fucking shit. That's how you have to be, fellas. And if we look at James's reaction,
The tricky part.
hold on,
This is the trick. Keep still.
that's brilliant, right? He's sort of taking the mick out of her, right? He's not going, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you still like me?" No. Again, slow, controlled movement, almost taking the mick out of her. No emotional reaction. Perfect.
This is the tricky part. That's better.
And fellas, if you just pay it, I mean, there's so much going on here, but if you just pay it, Jesus Christ, are we watching James Bond or are we watching fucking something else? Anyway, right. If you let's just pay attention to her eyes here.
You look the part now. It's better.
If you just notice her eyes, fellas, what's actually going on here is she's going from his eyes to his lips. Right? This is, if you ever see this, fellas, 101 times out of 100, it means she wants to kiss. Sorry, what am I talking about? 99 times out of 100, it means she wants to kiss. It means you want to escalate. If this was real life, adult activities would have happened by now. Just saying that. But if you ever see this, it generally means she wants to kiss. Obviously, fellas, you have to take that with a pinch of salt. Has she moved close to you? Has she engaged in physical contact with you first? Is she like touching your arm? Is she touching your hand? Is she fidgeting? Has she put her belongings close to you? Has she given you her phone? Has she left her phone with you? Has she left her bag with you? Has she skirted close to you? What's her body? There's so much to look. But generally, fellas, if you see this and you're this close, it means she wants to kiss. Obviously, there's more body language cues and bullshit like that. But just as another thing, fellas, always wait for women to make physical contact first, because if you use my tactics, they will. It is just a matter of time. Fellas, got one more point to make after this, but if you want to learn like the advanced body language cues, the advanced vocal tonality, the exact words to say that are scientifically proven to make you irresistible to women, even if you're not tall, dark, rich, handsome, successful, whatever. Disclaimer, if you are tall, dark, rich and handsome, these tactics will work even better. No way. If you want to learn more about my system, just click the link in the description, watch the video. It's going to just take you through what it looks like. If you don't want to, that's also fine. Like I said, I'm already rich. It's your decision. This is just the system I wish I had when I was younger. But anyway, fellas, if you like these longer videos, I mean, just let me know, because this is a different style of video I'm making. I mean, I'm not sure how long I've been going, but it's been quite a fucking while. Where I get sort of more in depth, I sort of show you what I'm thinking. I sort of break this down to the like literal granular level. I mean, fellas, I mean, I'm like 15% deep into this motherfucker. I could get like 85% more deep into some of the tactics. We've only scratched the surface. We've got so much more. But if you want me to make more in depth, more advanced, more tactical, more videos like this that are for men like you who have an attention span and actually will win and actually will get results. And I know that because you're here fucking 38 minutes later. So I know you're going to use this stuff. This stuff is sinking into your subconscious. You're going to get results. But if you want me to make more videos like this, just write a comment and I might have a look. And yeah, just let me know. Fellas, I will see you in the next video.